Close enough. All right, we'll start the meeting.
Recording in progress.
Thank you.
Any need for executive this evening? No executive?
No.
Nobody else has anything? Okay. Any need to amend the agenda? I guess we already did that. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move. Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, and then, so we had meeting minutes of our last meeting, October 5th, and then we have the revised from August 24th. Did anyone have anything on either of those minutes?
Nope.
Nope.
Here you go, sir.
No, I know. I'm gonna call you next time instead of texting you. Got lost in translation there. Any question on the orders?
I noticed there's a, well, it's calcium chloride flakes, $1,843. That's if I'm not mistaken, is for the dust control probably on the roads.
Yeah, that's for, yeah.
Is that
Yes.
the cause?
For the dirt roads, yeah.
Oh, right.
Pretty sure, but I wasn't sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything else? No? Okay.
Good one.
We can sign the orders, Brenda, if you have them there to pass
I
down.
do.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Joe?
Joe? There you go. The next one's right behind it, next to you.
Guess it all goes together. Apparently that's all.
I'm sorry.
Of course. Nutty.
Oh, man. Those borrowed pens.
From John's desk.
You probably used it for all 13 years. It's
Probably.
finally done.
Probably. That's good therapy anyways, walking back and forth. This one works.
Oh my god, I just put a hole right in that. All right, town manager's report.
So for the past few weeks, just been following up with the Route 7 paving project. I did meet with someone who's associated with the folks that worked on Route 7 and expressed my displeasure in the way that it was left.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice that they came back with a big truck, so they did try to clean it up a little bit, I think.
Oh, okay.
They came back with a gigantic it was like a vacuum, but made for like gravelly, the heavy duty stuff.
So
You
for
know,
all
there was
those
just
big
piles
chunks
of
they
that
left on
debris
the side of the road?
Yeah, because that was one of my big complaints with that, and then just all the other drama that went along with it. I had a chance to voice how we all felt,
Yeah.
and I did. I also received, and I haven't completed it yet because I needed to take a minute, but I received a survey. They would like to know what we thought of the
Ah,
project.
okay.
So I had to take a minute.
Yep.
So I haven't completed that quite
Okay.
yet. Anne, who's with us tonight, she has been continuing to work on the ordinances and policies and that sort of thing. Some of the documents that we couldn't locate, just so that you know this as well, documents that we couldn't locate, she's had to draft from scratch. So she would take the old documents
Nice.
and literally type them all.
Well, thank you
So
for
it's
that.
been a lot of work. I attended the town fair in Killington. I went to a couple of the sessions there. It was okay.
There wasn't a lot of good topics this year, I don't
No,
think.
that was my honest opinion of that. I met with Devin Neary. He actually came down to meet me in person because he hadn't met me yet, and we discussed the sidewalk project. We discussed a lot of the projects that the town has on its, near future, and possible funding for that. So we're in communications, and I'm looking at those other options to try to help with that. I don't know how much you know, we had the rogue truck incident in town.
Oh, yeah.
Does everyone know all
Oh,
about
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, tell us more.
It was bad.
Okay.
We don't have enough time.
Judy, you didn't see it on Facebook? It was all over Facebook.
Hold on, Facebook, sorry.
So that individual,
ahead.
though, he ended up losing his license.
Oh, did he? He should have.
He did, he was terminated.
He got stuck in 3 different places in town, just in
It
Pittsford.
was 4.
Was it 4?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
about-
oh yeah, it was like one right after another. Yeah.
Our emergency services were utilized for 8 hours for this one individual, for the many different incidents. I think he hit just about every quadrant.
I know, it's the train trestle, and then
The
Mobile,
train trestle, it was the
Sunoco.
mobile station,
Was there another?
Sunoco.
Snowcall, mobile, and then another one on
Yeah, it
over
was
in
4
Florida.
altogether.
I'll
Crazy.
check that out then.
They dropped the trailer and
Yeah. and-
Yeah, yeah.
Did you hear that story? It was, yeah.
yeah.
So I had the budget kickoff with the department heads. A couple of them I had to meet with on a different day than the original day I had scheduled, but I did meet with them, and we're starting to get the budgets back from them. We're going to compile them into one sheet for you folks. And what I was thinking, if you like the idea, great. If not, I can change it before you get it. I wanted to build into it what the union asked for, and then build in another amount as far as increase, so that you can see variations. And then we're going to have a column there so that if you want to play with that, we can just change that and it'll change the whole
Okay,
budget for you.
yeah.
I thought that would be easier to kind of deal with if you're seeing the whole picture. That's not going to necessarily include all of your capital projects, though.
Okay.
I kind of thought we should look at that differently, maybe.
Capital
I don't know.
Wells still look different on those.
Yeah, and I don't know, I talked to Ann about this. I wasn't able to find like a 5-year plan anywhere on a computer. Like a real, like a 5-year
I think the
capital
individual
plan.
departments
Each
have
department has
5.
one.
But we
They
can't
don't have
find
it on
one
file?
between our 2 offices.
Oh,
So we're gonna,
What was suggested
been
over the
doing
last
those-
5 years.
We've been doing those for years. Even when I was chief, we did one every year.
so everyone may have had their own little version of it. What I would like
Yeah.
to do, and I think it would make it easier for you folks, is I'd like to have a 5-year capital plan sheet that has all the departments on it.
Well, yeah.
So that you can see over that 5-year span when a note may be falling off. You can see when you might have a lighter year. So, you might have certain notes fall off. So that's kind of on my radar. If you like the idea, I can move forward with it.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good
Sounds
idea.
This would be
Yeah.
sort of a wish list as to what.
Yeah,
That's really what it
because
is,
right now,
actually.
what you
Like-
folks have been doing, I guess, over the years is you would fund the capital line items, for each department, depending on however much you wanted to allocate that year. But with a 5-year capital improvement plan, you're putting, they have to be specific. It's more specific. So if you're gonna need, say, 3 trucks, you're gonna have those 3 trucks, and you can even put them in that plan so that they're spread out, so that you're not kind of whacked all in one fiscal year with all these expenses at one time. It allows you to kind of see a broader picture of your future.
Well, it lets us put all the departments together too,
Yes.
because it may not be just highway or fire department
That's
or
right.
whatever, because, you know, in the 5 year, 1 year, you can't do everything, so that's how we.
It just it allows you to see it, the big
That's good, so
picture.
you can see it all, yeah.
Right.
That would be
So I
good.
would kind of like to do that. So I'm trying to gather their wish lists for those things too. So that's going good. I'm hoping to be able to schedule, I don't know if you want to have my question was, do you want to have a separate meeting to just do these budget pieces? Or do you want to have like just 2 departments each selectmen meeting? How would you like to do this? I know you wouldn't want to see everybody all at one time. That's too
No,
much.
it's easier if we can do it 2 at a time.
We usually do 2 at a time, but it's
And-
starting to get late. We're
It's getting
in
late,
Yeah.
November
so
already.
we might wanna do it all within 1 week, I mean, have a special,
Yeah, 'cause it is getting late.
'cause, you know, we need to get on it right away,
So do you want
Usually
to?
by now, we've done all this,
pretty
or
much.
doing
I
it.
know, and he's
We're
doing
doing
a
it.
second,
Yeah.
like second.
November, you know, it's,
I mean, it really shouldn't take too long.
it
We've
shouldn't.
been
no.
rolling this stuff into the spreadsheets as it's come in, so most of the guys are finished. I'm kind of waiting. I think Sean turned his in today,
Okay.
so I think we have that added in. So it's basically
Sure, we
Helen.
could sit here one afternoon and do it, as long as you've got them all compiled, you know. Don't have that many departments, that we can just sit here and some afternoon, might be easier, just come in the afternoon, late afternoon. Or evening, I don't care, be an off evening.
Would we have to call a
Well, if we
special
don't-
meeting
If
for
we
that?
don't
Yeah,
have
just-
a,
yeah,
well, we'll have to call a special
Just call a
meeting, but if
special
we
meeting,
don't
yeah.
have another meeting that night.
Right, so. maybe we
You
have just
figure each, well, how many departments have we got?
6.
6
six.
departments, yeah.
So you're looking at 20 minutes minimum per department, so that's a couple hours.
We can
So,
do
I mean,
it.
if we started at, 4 in the afternoon,
Do it on regular, yeah.
Yeah.
and spread them out from 4 to 7, something like that.
Sounds to me,
Maybe the
yeah.
town would buy us something to eat
Something
during
lunch.
that time
Yeah.
span.
Yeah,
I
there
don't
you go.
know,
I think so, at least a pizza.
something.
sounds
So,
good.
yeah, I think that may be,
Then we can get it
at this
done.
point, that way we can get it done,
Yeah.
because we're pushing the envelope at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So you're gonna.
So what are we,
figure
we're
it
in October, we're what, the 19th, so we got a meeting on the 2nd of November, so do we want to do it next week or the 9th? If we want to continue on a Wednesday night.
I don't know, maybe we should do it next week just to, cause again, 'cause we're,
Can we have it wrapped up by the 26th of this month?
I don't know if we can wrap it up, but we
I
can,
mean, so that we can look at it.
I mean, that date would
we
work.
do it on the 26th.
Yeah, we do the 26th.
Well, that gives us a week
That gives
before
you,
the next meeting
yeah, if we need to make.
think
any-
about stuff and.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mull
that
it
makes
over.
sense.
And then
Mull it over and then-
if we have to bring them back in on the 9th to, if we have questions or whatever. So yeah, I think we should try to do it on the 26th if we, yeah, I don't think I've got anything, yeah.
I don't have anything.
Would that work for you, Joe?
You have time to warn a special
Make it
meeting?
work.
Okay.
We don't do, how many days we gonna do it?
How many? I thought it,
I don't know.
It's not an emergency meeting, it's a special meeting.
Right, that's only, what, 48 hours, right?
48 hours, yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Emergency meeting
You can
is
do that.
2 minutes before, a special
Right.
meeting, I think is 48 hours.
I think so.
So we got a week, so we warn it,
Okay,
tomorrow,
all right.
What date were we gonna set a date for
26th?
this?
26th.
26.
And you want to start it at 4 p.m.?
yeah, 4.
Yeah, that should work.
And we'll be here
Yeah.
what time?
4.
4 o'clock.
And you plan on going till 7, you said? Is that how
Yeah, if
you
we
want-
plan 3, I mean, if we schedule them, if we give each one a half an hour, that's 2, 4, yeah.
We have plenty of time, I
We-
think.
Yeah.
That'll give us, yeah, each one can have a half an hour.
Well, I also have another idea that might make it a little more expedient, how about if I maybe try to send you that budget document in advance, so you can kind of peruse through it? Because then when you come, you won't just be looking at it for the very first time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine, but
Yeah.
they're gonna wanna
Oh,
explain
yeah, they're gonna have
what it
all
is,
the-
so we need
Yeah.
to give them,
We
you
want
know,
them-
a half an
yeah.
hour each.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to.
Yeah, no,
guys,
that
time
would
to,
certainly be
like-
Yeah,
helpful.
no, yeah, it would be
Yeah,
nice,
that
yeah.
would be helpful, yes,
Alright.
yeah.
That lets them explain the budget plus their 5-year plan at the same time.
Right,
Mhm.
yeah.
And that, you know,
Well, thank you for that. The other, I just had two other quick notes. One was, we had a wave of illness sweep through the town hall last week. And I think it hit just about everybody except Ann. And I think Jen. I think
No,
those,
Jen.
no, Jen was out with
It
me.
was just Helen
Yeah.
and I last man standing.
So we're kind of all back now. I think I had mentioned, and I'm not sure, but I'll mention it again. There was a grant opportunity I thought I could work on with the school for the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
No go,
Okay,
because it's outside of the parameter of the school's plan.
okay.
So I couldn't do the sidewalk piece.
Outside of the
They
parameter
have
of the
an
school's
SL
plan,
I'm trying to remember the acronym. It was an SLE, I believe, plan for the school that they worked through with AOT. So that plan has like parameters built within it for enhancements that would be applicable for this particular grant. So I'd have to pick one of those enhancements. This isn't, the sidewalk isn't one of them, so I couldn't stretch the envelope there. But, on the other note, there's another TAP grant out there that I'm looking into to help. And then there was another, I'm still working on the FEMA one, but that's for the culvert only. That's not really for the sidewalk. But there are quite a few out there. You just have to kind of read through what they're applicable for. Some of them we can use and some of them we can't. But I'm still looking. So that I feel like I'm trying to take advantage of the opportunity that we have to wait now to do it. So maybe give me a little bit of time to find some money somewhere.
yeah, makes sense.
But that's just about it. I don't really have a lot of other notes.
Okay.
Good.
All right, any select board member remarks?
I have a couple things. I didn't make it to regional last night, but Donna Wilson did. She texted me that I'd kind of forgotten about it, but Plains Road Solar, the junkyard, their solar
Yeah,
thing,
right.
that got approval from regional last night. Letter 1, no major impact. So I guess that's still going through. I mean, they'll probably be getting hold of us to cut those trees at some point, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been, what, 2-3 years
It's
Been a while, yeah.
in the works, so that evidently is moving ahead. The other thing, I'm a little upset that as a select board, we weren't told about the fire department's annual banquet last weekend. The fire department's pretty important in town. We do a lot for them. They've done a lot for us, especially during COVID when we didn't have a place for people to vote. They opened their firehouse for us to vote. And I think it's very important that as a select board, we are there at that meeting. Fortunately, Alicia did find out about it and was able to go, but none of the rest of us did in time. And I just don't think that was acceptable.
I apologize that you were unaware of it. I didn't know I was responsible for disseminating that information. I didn't know that I was supposed to be inviting people. I thought that the firehouse was inviting everyone. I didn't know that I was the one that was supposed to send that out. I didn't get that message.
The fire department didn't give you any heads up on it, or?
He had invited me and my husband.
Yeah.
And I said, who's coming? I said, is this something that goes out?
I didn't make it.
And he said to me that it was invitation only.
Wasn't well.
And that they would, just certain people came, and that was the extent of my conversation. So if it's something that John used to do previously, and he would have known to automatically tell you, then for that I apologize, but I didn't know that.
All right, well, yeah, Chief Hempel was, because I had to run into him, he was surprised that we didn't know, because he was under the assumption that you were gonna let us know, that that was part of the invite. It's not just for you, but to let the select board know,
Okay,
so.
I apologize.
Is this a thing that's been going on?
Well, it's their yearly
Well,
awards.
yeah, it's been what,
except-
2, 3,
except for
couple years
COVID.
since they've done it. I think it was
Yeah, we-
3 years ago the last time when they did it.
Yeah, we haven't done one.
With COVID, they haven't done it for a
Yeah.
couple years,
Right.
but yeah, it's
Yeah,
an annual
you guys are
event.
normally always invited.
Yeah.
I've been since I was chief, and that was
Mhm.
30-some years, so
Yeah.
kind of a standing
Mm-hmm,
invitation.
yeah. Does anybody else have anything?
No.
I don't have a remark, but so much as a question. It had occurred to me that we, some months ago, had talked about, well, you, at one point, I think you had mentioned the whole heating system, and we said, let's work with at least just cleaning out the ductwork and maybe changing out the thermostats. Has there been any movement on that?
There hasn't been any movement on it. I think it kind of was in a limbo state because I wasn't really quite sure, other than cleaning and thermostats, what we wanted to do.
Well, those were the two things. I'm just wondering when we're, you know.
I know that Anne reached out to them. I don't know if they got back to her to do that. Or if they're booked out.
Okay.
I can try to push a little bit.
We can push,
Yeah, but yeah, you weren't getting a call back?
they're plumbers.
Yeah.
Well, they're flat out, yeah. Yeah, so unless you hound them, you're not gonna hear
You
anything.
can't get a hold of a concrete guy, and you can't get a hold of a plumber.
Okay. All right, anybody else have anything? All right, any public comment? Ann, do you want to use public comment to talk about that, the model services policy, and then what was, you found out about the special appropriations?
Sure. So I had people come into my offices asking about my last time when I said that we had to have, if you were getting more money, you had to have it on get a petition together. And I provided the people that came in my office with a copy of letter, which I gave all of you guys. It's the one, I just printed one out of the 23. I didn't think you wanted 23 copies of the same letter. In the past, they had said that if you'd like an increase of your fiscal year, whichever appropriation request, you must submit a petition with signatures from 5% of the registered Pittsford voters, which would be about 105 good signatures as are needed, but it's recommended to gather more to the Pittsford Town Clerk. And I was asked to dig into it, and Vermont League of City and Towns has a model social services appropriation policy, which we have not adopted yet, but in there, it says that an article regarding an appropriation to a social service agency can be placed on the town meeting warning by vote of the select board. Alternatively, a social service agency may submit a petition signed by 5% of the voters to the town clerk by the 47th day before the date of the town meeting. These petitioned requests, if valid and timely, must be included in the warning. And it's, VLCT is recommending that we adopt a social services appropriations policy. And they gave us a model one, which I gave to the select board underneath all the stuff that was on your thing tonight. And I don't know if this is something that you want me to work on or not work on and bring back to the board. As of right now, I have asked Helen, there has never been a written policy. It's kind of gone, as far as she can remember, board to board, kind of
Yeah.
decided how they were gonna handle it, which is how I ended up with this letter, which I guess has been for however long my predecessor was here. So it's up to you guys whether you wanna do it by vote this year or you wanna do the petition this year, I
Yeah.
guess. And then whatever you guys wanna decide on for your
Okay.
model policy,
All
or
right,
for your policy,
Yeah.
not the model, but.
okay.
But that was the research when asked, I found.
We've always voted on it. The
Yeah.
board has. So it's Whatever you wanna do.
Right.
I mean, I think personally, that policy is probably something we should have
We
in
should.
place.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we need to work on
We need to
that.
work
So
on
the
it.
other thing, so we need to figure out this year whether we want it to be petition or voted on at town meeting, correct? If somebody, is that?
It can be voted, so according to this, it can be,
We
can be placed on the town meeting warning by vote of the select board, so you guys can put it on.
So we can put on-
We can put it
Or
on.
you can have them do the 5%
Right.
petition.
To get
put
it on there, either way.
Either way,
Mhm.
according to VLCT's front page here. And then going forward, you can decide how you want them.
And this would be new applicants, correct?
No, this would, or it
Or all-
could be all of them.
Oh,
It can
We've
be
never
all
done
of them,
that,
or it
yeah.
can be just however you want to handle it. Right now, your special appropriations list is
pretty
fairly
long.
extensive.
Yeah,
I went through the list and started checking it off to see who actually has been giving us the forms and who's missing on there according to what's in. I went through the town report and pulled up who's been giving us information versus who's on the special appropriations and wrote a list.
Okay.
Okay, that would probably be good information for us
So we got
to
that.
have to look at.
Yeah, that's why it's on the agenda under special appropriations as listed.
Okay,
Because they had asked last meeting to get the list this meeting, so we provided it in the packets, and then
yep, right, yeah.
there's one on there that I don't know who they are, but I have 3. I think Rutland Region Planning Commission is not considered a special appropriation though, is it? It's somewhere else in the budget.
I don't know.
I don't believe it's a because, I mean, it's a organization that we choose to belong to.
right.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not, I wouldn't consider that an an appropriation is something we donate money to.
Right.
And they,
Provided-
I wouldn't think they would be considered that. I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so either, but they were listed they're in the town report as having given us a blurb, because we ask each special appropriation to give us a blurb of, over the last year, what have you done,
What have
kind
you
of thing.
Yeah,
There's one on here, and I don't know if anybody in this room, because some people in this room have more connections than I do, but Rutland Area Community Services, they haven't provided anything, and I can't find anything online about them.
Whoa.
And we mailed a check to a P.O. box.
For $3,000.
It's a lot of red flags for me.
yeah, that's, yeah.
Put a little question mark next.
Yeah, because we haven't, I mean, I guess, well, just speaking for myself, if we aren't receiving anything from these organizations saying
So-
why we should contribute to them or what they do for the town, we got, from my perspective, way too many. I mean, and I'm not talking our historical society or our library
No.
or any of those, so don't panic. But I am talking about some of the ones that aren't necessarily here in town.
Right.
Right, and I,
That's, you know, you question how many people in town do they really serve?
so there's one of them that honestly serves one family in town, and they put that right in the town report last year.
Oh, really?
Yes. So,
No, I knew there is one that only does, one
Yeah.
or two, I remember that.
the only question I have is Rutland Area Community Services in here wrong, and it's actually Rutland Mental Health? Because Rutland Mental
That-
Health has a whole write-up, but they're
Oh.
not on
I
this
wonder-
list.
I wonder if it is.
But Rutland Mental Health
changed
has
it.
never been
Oh, did
called
they?
Rutland Area Community Services that I'm aware
They,
of.
They changed their name.
So yeah, I would look into that. I think it might be Rutland Mental Health, yeah.
Okay,
okay.
that's my
So
only
they,
concern.
so they've been double dipping.
No,
No,
Rutland
no.
Mental Health is not on this list.
Oh,
They-
mental
But they have
health
a
isn't
blurb-
on the list,
But they have
okay,
a blurb in the town report,
okay.
but the address that we've been mailing to, I know is not a Rutland Mental Health address.
It's weird.
So,
That's-
Part of the community care network,
right,
so
but
it might be.
but the Community Care Network is not called Rutland Area Community Services as far as I'm aware.
No, but I'm saying that the Rutland Mental Health Services is part of community care network.
Oh, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
All right, well,
It would be nice to know
what
what the post office box is that it's going to.
Yeah.
Whose post office box it's going to.
Yeah, it would be, but
I mean, because Rutland Mental Health may use somebody to collect their money for them, we don't
they
know.
may, I don't know. I know from personal experience, it's an address, not a PO box that mail gets sent to
Listen,
normally.
okay, all right.
For what I have to do it through them. But it just seems a little weird on here, and if it's actually not Rutland Area Community Services, but Rutland Mental Health or Community Care Network, we should actually change it on here. to
Right,
reflect
yeah,
what it
absolutely.
Well,
actually-
to make it, yeah,
Make it right.
clearly, yeah,
Okay,
yep.
all right. Thanks, Anne.
You're welcome.
So do we, oh, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
In this, qualifications for a new report group, is there anything that at some point every so many years checks to see whether they're all of these are still in business, or sometimes these things get merged? Seems like we have run into a situation where a couple of them have fallen to the wayside. There should be some accountability, and I think that in response to the town, whatever town it is supporting, I think they should get some kind of a annual report to show, to show where
Well, that's what Ann's trying to do.
That's what
Ann's
Ann's
going
doing, yeah.
through all this and trying to see,
And-
because, we have two tonight that they give us exactly like. what,
Previously, I don't think we've had any such correspondence. I mean, in my time being on the board, we've added a few. And I don't know if I can think of one that was deleted, but,
Yeah,
there should be kind of a response from the organizations that are getting our help, and so that we can feel we're doing the
Yeah.
right thing.
Well, no,
Yeah,
that's what Ann is doing.
Yeah.
She's, look through the town
Requires-
report, because most of them give us something to put in the town report,
Right.
so people can see this is
Right.
why we're giving money to this
Right.
organization. And Ann is double checking all that. Now, a few years ago, we voted that every year, like 5 of those comes up at town meeting
Right.
for us, because we broke it, I think there was like 15 of them or whatever it was. But it was like every 3 years, we would vote on a block of them to see if the townspeople still wanted us to continue. We would do that at town meeting.
Okay, I
And-
have no notes on that, so I don't.
Okay, yeah, we did that, I know we did that, because that was one of my things, to at least give people a chance to say yay or nay.
I don't think we've ever followed through on that idea, though, have we?
I think we did the first year, but I'm not sure we have the last couple of years with COVID and
well, that's, I
everything
know, the last
else.
few years were weird, so.
Been weird, yeah. Hopefully this year we can meet in person,
Okay.
maybe,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
So as far as having the board vote to okay the appropriations and to have Ann go ahead with putting that into policy, is that something we need to vote on and put on the agenda for next meeting and vote on, or can that be a consensus? Anybody know?
Alicia, do you want me to take the model policy, write it up, and then I can give it to you at the next meeting, and then you can approve it then, so that you guys have a chance to read through it?
Yeah, that sounds good,
For
actually.
the
I
policy,
forget that. I know I'd already read it, so I forgot that these guys just are seeing
Yeah,
this
they're
now,
just
so.
seeing it tonight, so.
Yeah.
And I'd have to just add our name and do
Yeah.
the different.
Yep.
change
Okay.
A couple of things.
All right, that works.
But do we still need to decide whether we're gonna, for them to petition, whether they do a petition or they just come to us? We need to make that decision, correct?
Yeah. we need to
Yeah,
do
for
that.
this year, however you're gonna handle it, because I think it's unfair to take
If
this
it's new, they
policy
need
and
to,
say.
I would think, petition. And then,
Yeah, I have no problem with if it's new, they need to
If it's new, they
petition.
need to
Let's make it a
petition.
little more work for them if they really, well, no, I
But
mean,
that-
we donate a lot of money. A lot of money.
yeah, we're talking $150,000 almost. So
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
I mean, and some of those are mandatory, the ambulance and some of those. It isn't all
No, it's not all-
discretionary, but, it's a lot of money.
Go ahead,
So
Ann.
we're asked, the Historical Society's asking for a couple weeks, or 2 weeks ago, Tom was here asking for the increase. Does that
That,
fall into new?
I wouldn't
No.
think
No,
so.
because you're just
because
asking for a
you're
different amount.
already
We already
there.
established,
that would be
you know.
budgeted,
Right,
that we're gonna budget that.
yeah.
So that would be something that
Just like we budget the
Right.
library, that we
Right.
don't change, that wouldn't have to go to the voters as far as I'm concerned, because you're already in there. We're just increasing,
Right, the amount's
Well, I don't
changing.
know.
I don't know. We
Well,
don't have-
we better find out on that, because, I mean, the fact that the voters initially had to approve us giving them money to begin with,
Initially, and then
if we're
that's-
raising the amount of money, I would
We
think,
never have,
we never have, okay,
never have.
okay.
No, that's it.
Well, I know you haven't, but some of the others have asked.
No, we never have gone, other than a new entity, is when we've gone to the voters.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Am I right, Joe? I believe so. If it's in a new entity, that's when we ask the voters to approve it. Once they're on this list, it's a budgeted item,
Then
and
it's-
sometimes, yeah, right, regional ambulance, their budget goes up,
Right,
it goes up, it goes down, but we just
Well,
plug it
but
in.
that one
We
is
plug it in,
mandatory,
it's
that one's
voted.
mandatory, though, we have no
Right.
choice on
I
that
know, but
one.
I'm just saying, some of
Right.
these, that's how we've done it in the past.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, that's the way we do it, I don't know.
Okay, no, I'm fine with that, as long as it's legal, you
As
know.
far as I know it is.
Yeah, so we should definitely have this on
So
the
we-
agenda again
so-
for next meeting.
Right,
to-
so we just need to vote on their increase, and then we're good, so, okay. That's it.
Yeah.
So if we vote on their increase
Yeah.
and approve it, then that's what it is. Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure we were doing it.
Yep.
I don't want them to find out when we come to cut the check for them that we messed up and we can't cut them the check.
If it's in
Like,
the budget
whoops.
and the budget's approved, they got the money.
Yeah, all right.
All right, so to be continued to next meeting. Any other public comment? Everybody's on the agenda. All right, so we'll hold off on old business and we'll go to new business since everyone is here. So, Cedar's at the top of the list.
Thank you very much. We absolutely came on the right night
Yeah.
with that conversation. We're in the budget, so I'm gonna ask that question. Are we on that list?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you've been here enough times, yes, I think you're on the list, yes.
Thank you.
I won't tell you which list, but you're on the list.
We appreciate your time, and we are coming back, you know, when you see me, and I apologize in
Yeah, no.
advance, I'm asking for money.
Yeah.
But part of that is we want to make sure you know how we're using that money, and Pittsford has been a supporter right from the beginning on the Regional Marketing Initiative. This is a 10-year effort, and we're already beginning to look back and say, okay, is this working? And we believe that it is working. And Olivia is going to tell you a little bit about why we know it's working, because we have some statistics that we'd like to show you. And we also want to be very transparent and show you how we're spending the money that's brought in. Olivia's going to ask you to turn to the left-hand side of this, Olivia, is that right? Is that correct, I mean? Here's a couple others, I don't know if people want to follow along or
I don't
not.
waste your stuff, so.
You have a missing select board member.
Oh,
over there.
yeah.
And you may recognize somebody in a picture there.
Yep.
So the next sheet is a blog post recapping the Real Rutland Weekend Getaway in Rutland County. This was our most recent campaign, and we put it out to people in the United States. It reached over 400,000 people on social media. We had about 450 people apply, and then I interviewed 30 families that were very serious about wanting to apply to this weekend getaway. And basically what it was these families came for just about an all-inclusive weekend. We didn't hold their hand through it. We gave them the chance to just explore on their own and kind of see how they could see themselves fitting into Rutland County. So the first night when they came in on Thursday, we held a meet and greet up in Killington where they were staying. We had them meet with one of the local realtors and some people who actually live here. On Friday, they were free to do whatever they wanted to do. 2 couples went kayaking on the Chittenden Reservoir. It was like 40 degrees. One of the couples was from LA. They bundled up, they did it, they had a great time. Families went rock climbing. They took part in a countywide scavenger hunt, which took them to every single town within the county so they could really explore everything that Rutland County has to offer. They...
Remember where they came to Pittsford? Because I can't remember.
Where did they come? They
Maple
went
Museum?
to, yes, the Maple Museum. And one of the families, a few of them met with a realtor. One of them ended up actually putting an offer on a house on Furnace Road here in Pittsford. It didn't go through, but they're still looking to move here. And what else did they do?
They went rock climbing, they went to, there was
I bet it was.
chili cook-off in Pulteney. There was a whole list that Olivia put together, and she showed them the list, and then she said pick, and then she's customized that list. And they could go or not go, like to the corn maze, you had tickets for them to go to that. So there are all sorts of the Vermont things that we really wanted them to see, and they had an amazing time. And then, was it Hathaway Farm? Not Hathaway Farm.
Baird Farm.
Baird Farm. put together gift baskets so that if they went and did this scavenger hunt and got enough pictures of the places we said to go get pictures of, they would get this gift basket.
Nice.
Every one of them nailed it. They all did
Yeah.
it because they said that was like the best thing to do, to drive around and see what was going on. So your funding helped pay for that. They had to get themselves here because we wanted them to have some buy-in. This is not like a completely free trip. You know, if you're thinking of moving here, you're gonna have to pay to move here. But we did pay their accommodations, we paid for their meals and gas and car, but they got themselves here and back. It was an amazing time for me to meet them. And if you look at the pictures that are in there, you'll see they are our demographic that we were shooting for. We're looking to get people younger than me who have families, who want to work, because our employers, and this is what I tell you every year, our employers need employees. They need a pool of employees to draw upon. The people that came, there were 8 adults, 4 of them can work remotely, and the other 4 had skill sets that we could find them a job immediately. And so we're going to keep talking to them, and we're going to keep reeling them in. And we've got the email addresses for those other 450 people who put their names in. And they're going to continue to get information from us, and hopefully they'll come here. Now, we may be exacerbating the problem of housing, but that's okay. Housing's it's gonna correct itself somehow, and we're working on that too. So, but we need to get more people to look at Vermont.
And like I said, that one family, they're very serious about moving here. 2 of the other families, they kind of want to figure out the job spec first and then figure out where they're going to live here. And then the other family's still kind of, we really liked it, but are we going to make the move yet? But we have seen that this also works. We've had over 200 people in the 7 years that this has been happening.
6 years, really.
6 years. Over 200 people have moved to Rutland County, and they've moved to more than 10 different towns within the county. So they are spreading out. It's not all just concentrated in Rutland City.
Yeah, okay.
And so why do we need money? So we've found out that there's a piece of paper in there that shows you a whole bunch of different cities. And those cities are where we're targeting because we're getting a lot of responses from those cities. You're going to look at that list and you're going to see there's some commonalities. The commonality is that we have climate refugees coming to Vermont. They don't want the fires, they don't want the heat, they need water, and Vermont is a place that they're coming to. But we need to get in front of them because we're in competition with other states. And so we need to keep doing what we're doing. And you'll see that, you'll say, well, do campaigns really work? Because some people don't believe marketing is anything. You're just kind of putting money away and you're not getting anything from it. There's statistics here, and all I want you to really do is look at the graph. There's a green graph and a blue graph. And the blue graph is when we're not doing a campaign, and a green graph is when we're doing a campaign. And Olivia got in front of 400,000 people with that one campaign. And that got a lot of eyes on Vermont. Specifically got a lot of eyes on Rutland County. And it doesn't cost a lot through social media. You can do that pretty cheaply, but you need to do it consistently. And you need to do it year after year after year. And even when the Ford dealerships or the Ford company couldn't get computer chips to build trucks, they still advertised because they knew they needed to keep advertising, keep advertising. So we're asking again for your support, and it's a $3,000 amount, I think, on that list. I hope that's what it is.
I know, I can't actually find it.
It is.
Yeah,
Is it?
was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'll see the very last page, because we always put the money part in the back in case you don't want to look at it, maybe you do. But it shows you how we're spending the money.
Oh, there it is.
So there's revenue
Now I see it.
and there's expenditures. We're looking for, and Rutland City, Monday night, approved $16,000, basically $1 per person in the city. And we went to Danby the other night. We're here tonight. We're going to Middletown Springs and Proctor next week. People are excited about the program. We know it's money. We know you could spend it in other places, but we appreciate your support and hope that you'll continue to do that as we move down the road here. And it was the Cake House. What was the name of that?
Yeah, the wedding cake.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one they put the offer on?
That's nice.
So if you know a house that has about 20 plus acres, that's what they're looking for.
Okay.
And it won't surprise you, everybody from out of state's looking for the same thing. They all think they want to be like gentlemen farmers, and they all want about 10 acres. And it's that mystique, it's the look that they want. Vermont's got it. But when they get here, they realize maybe we don't need 10 acres. It might be nice to live over here on this nice house we just found.
Yeah.
They just haven't been here yet. So that's what we do, we bring them here. And we've been so busy that we had to hire a half-time person who was our concierge volunteer. So when you click on, if you go to realrutland.com and you click on concierge, you will get a person that will Zoom with you, call you, email you, and it's Carly Haven, a real person who lives in Rutland. And then she'll connect you with up to 30 different people who might be in your demographic. So if I'm calling in, I want somebody maybe my age and has had my experiences to talk to. But if they're Olivia's age, and I didn't introduce Olivia Lyons, who is our communications and marketing manager. If you're Olivia's age, you don't want to talk to somebody my age. You want to talk to somebody Olivia's age. And so we have this roster of people, about 30 people who we can go to and introduce people to. So.
Kind of give them their first friend
Yeah.
when they move here.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Nice.
The secret sauce.
Yeah. Great, thank
If you have questions, we'll answer questions, and if not, I know you have more important things to talk about. I'm glad you're here.
Need a motion on this?
Well, we still have to figure out how we're dealing with all the appropriations?
No, we don't need to do it.
We don't?
Not
Just leave it?
tonight, I
Okay,
don't think.
all right.
Yeah.
You get it.
All right.
You're good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
You won't be offended if we leave.
No, no,
No, thank you
no.
for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
See
Take
ya.
care.
Great night. You too. Hi, how are you?
All right. Let's see. Okay. Historical Society.
Okay, I'm Ann Pelkey, curator of the Pittsford Historical Society Museum, and I would like to respectfully submit the following request for ARPA funds. I have 3 items. Painting of the building, $20,000. The Eaton Hall Museum, built in 1881, was last painted in 2012 and badly needs it again. The cost in 2012 was $7,750. To date, we have not received any responses to our several requests for estimates. With the significant increases in cost of materials and labor, we feel a guesstimate of $20,000 should adequately cover the scraping, caulking, priming, and painting of the 3-story building. Item number 2, emergency exit stairs, $500. The first floor emergency staircase off the rear of the building is rotting and unsafe. If replaced as currently built, the estimated cost would be about $500, $300 for materials, and $200 for labor. The last item, our storage shed, $1,000. The storage shed in back of Eaton Hall houses several large and heavy pieces of farming equipment donated from local farms, all too big to store inside our museum. The bottom is rotting due to roof runoff, and rain gutters have been installed to alleviate the issue, but the siding and base need replacement work. Unable to get estimates, we hope that hopefully $1,000 would cover the project. So the total that we're asking for is $21,500. Thank you.
Thank you. We still haven't really figured, we still need to make a bullet list, right?
Yeah.
No, we do.
Oh,
We
yeah.
need to put all these and go through and
Yeah.
see what we can do and what we can't, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ann.
In the past, have you had any, money set aside for maintenance?
We,
I mean, you
well,
have your
we
annual
do.
budget, do
We
you
have
have
a budget
a
and,
certain figure for,
yeah,
you might not use it this year, but it builds up?
correct, it does.
So do you have some money
Yes,
in hand?
yes, we do.
Well,
I mean, go ahead, Tom.
Not the way you're thinking, Joe, because this year, as I mentioned at the last meeting, we got hit with some whopping surprises, like the furnace that was declared
Right.
unsafe.
Right.
The chimney liner, that was
Had to
said go. And then the emergency system which the insurance company said, update it, or there goes your insurance. So we were hit with between $25,000 and $30,000 of very unexpected, all at once
Yeah.
things. So, while we have some money at hand, this would be a toughie for us. The building would go another 3 or 4 years before it could be touched. And it's, if you go over there, they're flaking off like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's an old building and it needs attention.
Yeah, just like me.
No, you didn't, you were in Florence.
I didn't, I was in Florence
I
school.
did.
Florence. I did.
Back when I was a Boy Scout, we used to have our meetings down cellar and that same.
So did I, yep.
That's a long time ago.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Thanks.
I don't see any problem.
No, me neither. So, library.
I have some handouts for you. And this is one for him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You already know.
Okay. So we're requesting ARPA funds for some capital repairs to be done to the McClaw Library. The slate roof has been leaking for almost 50 years, since 1970, and it hasn't been repaired. What's happening is that Vermont roofers are coming out and they're putting Band-Aids, big Band-Aids, but they're putting Band-Aids on the problem. And nobody has ever lifted the slate to find out what's going on. My guess is that when they take the slate off, there's going to be some considerable rot to the rafters from the leaking for 50 years. So what the Vermont roofers are suggesting is that we take off the slate on the eastern side of the building, see what damage is done, put down a barrier, then put the slate back on. And they're able to do that, they would be able to do that. And they're estimating about $50,000. Now, that's before they see what the damage is. It could be more, it could be less. It is above, the leak is coming down above the fireplace. So it could be flashing around the chimney. Yep.
I think there have been repairs, they haven't been entirely successful, might be the qualifier. And this, Shelley has pointed out that she has called Vermont Roofing 7 times this year to come and look at things. And the leakage happens when it's really heavy rains.
And heavy winds.
With wind, so it
But
gets
then
up
what
under.
happens is the water goes down and destroys the plaster in one of the reading rooms. And that clocks in at, besides the slate repair, that clocks in at $4,000 for a good plaster job.
Yeah.
And so, it's...
What it's doing is like
We prefer to
it's...
avoid an 8th,
yeah.
9th, and 10th visit for the roofer kind of.
And more damage. And more damage.
well,
Because the
the
more it
damage,
leaks, the more
more
the rotting,
expenses
and then
it's
it
gonna
comes
be.
down, and we just spent a
I was
lot
gonna
of
say, that
money.
plaster just got fixed not that long
The
ago.
plaster, and we had a leak, and you can come in and see that the plaster job, a section of it, is ruined again. And so that was, not all of the money, but, that was, so this is gonna keep happening.
Yeah.
And I think that we're gonna, down the road, be looking at a bigger problem to throw money at. So if we want to fix the roof, finally and correctly and permanently, they're gonna have to take those slates off. And they're thinking around $50,000, depending on what they find when they take the slate off. Phase 2 is the window project. Now, Shelley has written 6 grants, and of the 6 grants, she's gotten 5. That's a remarkable amount of grant money. So she's been able to do work and maintenance on the building with these grants. She did replace all the storm windows with 1 grant to the front of the building, and now we need to do the back of the building. And I don't think I have to tell you guys the heating savings would be tremendous. We need to button it up. It's, as you said about the Historical Society, these are old buildings, and if we want to keep them and beautiful and preserve these historical landmarks, I mean, the Historical Society and the McClure Library is like a gem in the crown jewel of Pittsford. And so we need to put money into them. So that would be putting the rear of the windows, and she is looking into matching funds through grants. And another ARPA fund request is the parking lot needs to be resurfaced, and the curb needs to be, there needs to be reduction in the curb because people are finding it difficult to make that step up. And you know, we do have wheelchair access in the basement, but to come into the main.
Yeah, that's a really high curb there.
Yeah.
There's a high curb around the parking lot. The surface of the parking lot needs to be resurfaced. I mean, you know, you can hear your wheels and axles rattle when you back up. But our thought is also, and this is based on comments and feedback from some of the senior citizens coming in, that it would be desirable, and this is an important, we have two strips of pavement leading, you know, there's a sidewalk leading around the building, and there are two strips of pavement connecting the front of the building to the front parking lot. We would like to take out the curb on the one closest to the road, which would be behind a parked car, and give it a gradient so that people would not be climbing up over the curb but just walking off. And then also put in a handrail sort of leading around the, you know, up the ramp and then around the corner a bit, to give people a bit more of a, well, you know, support, especially on those days when the sleet is coming down or the rain is pouring or things like that. So we're thinking of this as being a sort of combined project, although it could also possibly be separated. But
and there's a hand railing, a couple of steps up to the library, and it's all kind of rotted. I did talk to a welder today, and he's going to meet me when he is in the area. He's going to give me a call, he's going to meet me there, and we think it can be a very inexpensive welding repair. So I'm hoping that that's not going to be a big deal. And then the front doors, they need to be restored. There's no finish on them anymore. You know, there was, I don't know what kind of lacquer or varnish or whatever, but there's no finish on them anymore. And being out in the elements, it's just going to ruin these doors even further. Again, weather is, so do we want to take care of it now, or do we want, So our total request is $100,000. But that, I think, will take the building up to a standard where the weather is not going to be eroding this building, that the building will then be preserved for many years, I think. If we put this investment in the building now, I think that we can eliminate a lot of little stuff in the future. So we're hoping that from the ARPA fund.
And some of these, like, I mean, I'm sure everyone here knows, but like some of the things like the roof and the storm windows might be pricier because the building's also in the National Historic Registry.
It is.
So it has to, you know, I mean.
Yes, it is. So there has to be a standard to it. But Hirschman's,
Hirschman's. The windows,
they've been doing the work and doing a beautiful work. And that is what they do, is they replace windows to make it all, you know what I mean? It's not a standard window, this is what they do. They replace historical windows, so, and they're doing a beautiful job. So the other request that I have is that our yearly allocation be raised by $20,000. And I don't have to tell you guys that price of everything has gone up. And I know that we share the fuel with you guys, right? We're in that, that's probably gonna go up. And just the price of everything, books has gone up incredibly, surprising even to us. Books and just all the minutia that it takes to run a library. Now, there's a chart here, and this chart here what we did was we went, Shelley did all of this. She went and compared the different libraries, the population of the town, the hours per week that they're open, the town funding, the allocations from the town, and then the per capita, the taxes per taxpayer is for McClure, for the town of Pittsford, is $32.85. If you raise our appropriation, if you raise it to $20,000, it would be $39.88 per taxpayer per year. A drop in the bucket.
Drop in the bucket.
Drop.
I think, by the way, the figures that Shelley put together come from the Vermont
Yes,
Department
it's at
of
the bottom,
Libraries.
but-
She
yes.
didn't cook them up by herself.
No. There's the website where she got them. She just made them into a nice little chart. So, there's the website. So as you can see, that towns similar to our population are receiving more town funding than even we're asking for $20,000 more, and it would be $13,000. So I think that compared to other towns our size, I think you are getting a bargain. If I may, that it's and I think that the fact that Shelley writes so many grants and gets them, she has kept the operation of the library down, and she's been able to do some repairs, some restoration by writing these grants. She's a gem.
Yes, she
Oh,
is.
yeah.
She's really is.
She is.
Yeah, she's just terrific. And I did include some of the things that the library is to the community. It's a huge community center. Anybody can meet there. You just have to contact us if you're a community service and you need a place to meet. Give us a call if we have the space and an available night. We open our doors to a number of community. So to the community, this is very important. We have regular programs. You can see, I won't bore you if I haven't already, with the programs that we have and the services that we offer. Shelley, it's incredible what people will come in and ask the librarian for. You know, here, my phone doesn't work. Can you help me with the phone? And she offers those services.
Yep.
And I don't think a day goes by or a week goes by that somebody from out of town or out of state, especially during foliage, remarks on how beautiful our building is. And we've got to keep it, I think, maintained. And then just the other services, how many books we lend out. We also are a bus stop for the Otter Valley students. We also have become a center where you can go, like what were we saying, if the manor, there was a fire, they could all come to the library.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's going to be a designated
Yeah, it's like a shelter space.
Shelter space,
And it's also
that, yes.
designated like warming center in the
Yep.
winter and cooling
Yep.
center
And
in the summer.
Yeah, and it also is a shelter, you know. So, and then we collaborate with a number of communities, organizations in the communities we collaborate with. And like I said, our doors are open, and if you need a place to meet, we're happy to try to accommodate you. Yeah, so, and I think we also hired a new children's services librarian, and she's quite impressive as well. So we can so we can offer services to children as well. And it's a place to go after school if they don't have any place to go. And that is that's huge to working families. So that's my bag. And I give you this packet, and I hope you'll read through it, and I hope you believe that this is a worthy cause, and it's worth the $100,000 in ARPA and the $20,000 in allocations. So thank you very much. I appreciate-
Awesome, thank you, Judy. Was someone gonna be here from Otter Creek? Are they on there? Hi.
Oh, it's Chad.
Oh. You're not from Otter Creek Engineering.
Not much equipment up there.
No,
So I'm guessing you're here for our mower?
Yeah, but actually to sell, so I'm not asking for money tonight.
Okay.
You guys a little bit of a break.
Thanks.
Yeah, we got had somebody look at it a couple weeks ago, the mowers and with the tractor, offered us $8,000 for everything. So yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, it's, guys that do the road work down in Leicester, are the main ones that are interested in it. They have a same mower that we have, which they could take off their tractor, put onto ours and use. So that's what they're interested in doing. And actually then today I had another gentleman call me about the mower and tractor as well. I sent him some pictures. I didn't hear back from him yet. So I don't know if you want to give it a little more time. Let me contact him, see what his offer is, or just go with
Yeah. So what exactly is that tractor? That's the Ford, correct?
Yes.
The Ford?
That's the Ford with the broken arm mower now.
Well, yeah, but the Ford, what's the model of the Ford and year, roughly?
It's a 6640, 1994.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I
Two
think,
windows missing, no AC, rough interior. Other than that, it runs like a charm.
well, yeah, no, I mean, on a tractor, none of those are a big deal, so it's fairly normal. So, yeah. If it runs and drives good, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you looked up what values are on it?
I tried, I mean, I did look up to that model to see there's not really a lot out there. At least similar model to ours, you know, some two-wheel drive.
Ours is 4, correct?
Yeah, or it's four-wheel.
Yep.
They range, like I said, it's kind of a limited sample of what I saw. Somewhere maybe around 20,000, somewhere 15.
Yeah, I thought 8 was a little
A
low.
little low,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, like the ones that I saw, you know, tractors were, I think, a little better shape. But again, they were also two-wheel drive, some of them, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, a couple windows and an interior, you know, $1,000, you're back to
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, those parts, they're expensive, but they aren't that expensive to fix stuff up, so, yeah,
Yeah.
Joe, you
And the
had a
windows really aren't that critical either.
right.
The question I have is, wouldn't it be a good idea to put it up for bid, advertise it, I don't know what it'll cost, a few bucks, advertise it maybe in the Rutland Herald or maybe on the internet. Advertise it, taking bids for it, reserve the right to reject or accept any or all bids, and see what it brings.
Yeah.
Or you could advertise it, we figure it's worth so much, that's the minimum bid. You might be surprised what it would do, because one of the little dump trucks that we saw went off down country, and it turned out, we monkeyed around, tried to sell it around here, didn't have very good luck. I'm not sure how John did sell it, through the internet or what, but we got a good deal more for it.
Well, no,
And
yeah.
it went probably 500 or 800 miles away.
Yep.
There's a government.
We're not in any push for any time to dispose of this, I don't believe. So, put a time date on when the bids would be accepted, park it out where somebody doesn't have to babysit it to look at it and see what happens. I mean, I think it would be money well spent to at least offer it that way.
Yeah, no, that's
The town of Killington, we have bought 2 of their big John Deere loaders from the town of Killington, and that's just what they've done. When they get ready to trade, every 10 years, they've advertised their loader for bid with a minimum. And it's surprising. And one year, they didn't reserve the right to reject or accept any bids, and there was kind of a Dave Lewis, who was town manager, he was gonna sell it to somebody else, but we found out that our bid met the time limit, and the other guy's bid didn't, so they had to sell it to us, but that was Dave's doings.
That was a grader, I think,
All we would be out is whatever it costs to advertise it.
Right.
And I'm not sure through the computer, I'm not into that, but I think that's how John advertised our town truck. You remember anything about it,
I
Tom?
think so, yeah. It was that Gov
Deals.
Gov Deals,
is where we did it,
yeah.
I believe. Yep.
cause that gets out the
Being a
whole country.
Almost nationwide.
Yeah.
Being a 4-wheel drive tractor, that makes it interesting to many people.
Worth a lot more than $8,000.
Yep. I
Yeah.
think so we put it on that one.
Yeah.
That'd be my suggestion. It might take,
You got your marching orders.
Yep.
well,
Gov.deals.
I can't speak for,
there's that one and there's another.
There's
site
another one
that's
too.
bid,
Yep.
Same thing, but, yeah, we'll throw it up there and sounds good to me.
Okay.
Alright, thanks.
as long as you reserve the right to reject any and all bids,
Right, yeah, you got to.
can't lose.
Yep.
Alright, so the Route 7, Segment 3 estimate? Wasn't someone gonna?
He was supposed to be.
He's not here, so
So,
Okay, so I
don't
guess
gotta worry
we'll
about that one.
do that next time. Alright, carpet cleaning request.
yes. These carpets are bad, and from what I understand, no one knows when they were ever cleaned.
Okay.
So I reached out and I actually got someone to call me back, and she came out the same day. And to me, it was $585 to do the entire building, including offices. I thought that was a really good deal.
Alright, yeah. I have no experience with that.
Very good deal.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I had to price it myself just for, my home, and so when she gave that quote, I was like, wow, okay. So I kind of set it up to do. So my question for you folks was, would it be okay if we closed Town Hall instead of 3 o'clock on a Friday, closed at 1, so that they could begin the process of cleaning them all? Because we have to push everything.
As long as we can put a notice out a week or so ahead of time.
Yeah, put a notice out.
I just wanted to make sure I asked before I
Yeah.
did something like that.
Alright, yeah,
Well, that's probably-
fine with me.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, cause I talked,
it'll take a fair bit of coordination between you folks and whoever's doing the work to get stuff ready for
Yeah,
them.
because I told her we would kind of push everything out of the way for her, because I think that helped us keep the price down, because we're not asking them to move any furniture.
Okay. Was there something else you were gonna say?
yeah, I was just gonna say, cause I talked to Chad about something else this morning, and he mentioned that for him to do it, he's gotta rent the equipment.
Oh, God, yeah.
Renting the equipment, the time and whatever, it seemed like a
That's
reasonable
money
deal to
well
him. Well, yeah, given what it takes to clean
Yeah.
our living room, which I don't even think is as big as this room, yeah, no, it's a good deal.
Okay. Alright. And then new phone system. So is this,
So this is
this
kind of
the only option, Comcast?
It's complicated with us. So we
Okay.
have services that are divided amongst different town buildings. And I'm gonna let Ann talk about this one because she spent quite a few hours on it. Getting this getting this total.
So, because this is an emergency building, we're supposed to have TV here, we're supposed to have internet here, and we're supposed to have phones here.
Okay.
The way that they've always done it here is Comcast, because if we went through consolidated, then you have to get somebody else for the phone. And by bundling it with Comcast, we get the TV either free or dirt cheap, I can't remember which at this point. Because they know it's just for the municipal, for the emergency, whatever. And Comcast is who this building has had historically for a while. So I called them to ask, you know, what our options are. We know our phones need to be updated. Helen says they've been the phones that she's had since before she started here. She knows that they were here. And we're starting to see a lot of technical difficulties with them. Can't get those phones anymore, I don't believe. And it's like, okay, which phone works, which doesn't. And we've had a lot of dropping of calls lately.
Yeah.
So I called Comcast to see, they have this Business Voice Edge plan, which is what you guys have in your packet. It offers a lot more options for us. This is for us to lease brand new phone system from them, and that's what's in the cost. It also is going to give us the availability, if they're going to guarantee that our phones will stay up even in a natural disaster. They also have it so that if one of us needs to work from home remotely, illness, whatever, we can have the phone go from our office to our cell phones. It'll show that we're answering from the town offices, but we can get those phone calls to our phones at home, just have it our extension rerouted, and we can still work, you know, instead of having the delay and having voice messages and that kind of thing. It also opened up so we could each have our own voice message. So say I was taking a couple days off, I could leave the voicemail saying, I am out of the office this day to this day. I will return your call as soon as I come back this day. Right now, we don't have that option. We have it, it's one message for everybody, and then it's just our extensions. We don't have the option, and we have asked if we can get the option. We can't with the phones that we have, to be able to have the individual personalized voice recordings.
Okay.
And this would also allow us to have caller ID. As of right now, Comcast says we should have caller ID. Our phones won't do the caller ID, and we can't figure out why not. They've worked on it extensively through Comcast, and they're like, it's not us, it's not our side of things.
Yeah.
And that's been a problem with emergency.
It's been a problem with the emergencies, but it's also been a problem with people calling and they just expect that Helen or Liz know who the voice is because they've been here so long. Hey, I'm just calling to let you know this is happening. Can you give me a call back? And Helen's like,
How are
this
ya?
could be, but with caller ID, we could see who it was.
Right.
I've had a couple of instances where I've had a hard time understanding citizens, either because of their, you know, if they're a foreign language, the English isn't their first language, or sometimes older people are quieter on the phone and they're harder to hear. You miss a digit.
Yeah.
You know, so we're all kind of struggling with that. We're hoping with the phone systems, having caller ID, having a reliable phone, having messaging that we can all say, you know, we're on vacation, this has come up. And it would be easier for us to record a message, like if we were closed October 28th, we could change the message to say the town offices will be closing early October 28th. You know, we'll be closing at noon instead of, or 1 instead of whatever. It would just make it so that I think people would be able to be more aware of what's going on instead of leaving a voicemail message and then they don't know when they're getting a return phone call. We've had instances, Chief has had it a couple times, I know Brenda's had a couple times, where they're not getting their voice messages the same day, they just randomly started hearing
I just
them.
today got my voicemail message from the library. It just popped, it made my light come on today. So, and I know she took a call from you.
It'll at least
the other
bring us
day.
into the 19th century.
Right, so we know that it's a lot more expensive than what we're doing right now, but the options are pulling us, like you said, out of I called it the 18th century the other day because I was frustrated.
Well, we're in the 18th, this will bring us at least till the
This will bring us
19th,
to the
yeah.
19th, maybe it's 20th century, maybe not quite 21st, but it'll get us that much closer. And I think it would provide the citizens with a more service and a lot better communication on availability and that kind of thing. And if, like I said, one of us has happened to be working from home, it would allow them to get the phone calls instead of leaving voicemails and then trying to dial and get your messages that may or may not be there.
Well, the other good thing with this service too was if one of the phones becomes inoperable for whatever reason, it's instantly replaced.
Within 24 hours, all a
24-hour
brand new phone.
replacement.
So, say somebody accidentally dumps a cup of coffee, which happened on mine before, like, when I started. Not by me, I don't drink coffee. But somebody accidentally dumped coffee on it, and luckily we were able to, like, shake it out quick enough. But if it had happened and somebody had walked away not realizing it, within 24 hours we'd have a brand new phone at the desk, ready to roll. This also would allow us to have a normal so Helen and Liz have asked for a handheld so that they don't have to have a cord when they're going to the desk right in the front. This package includes that handheld, so they wouldn't have the corded extension for them to choke each other with, as I call it. And it also includes a conference phone for in here, so it's not just a regular phone, it's one of those that looks kind of like a flower petal.
Yeah.
With a speaker in the middle.
Yeah.
You see it in a lot of teleconferences and that thing. It makes it a clearer, easier to hear phone call with everybody instead of trying to put a phone like that on speaker and then hope that it works.
Yeah.
So how much more, what are the numbers?
So the numbers were in the thing. Currently, we're paying $224.70 a month with the rental or lease of the phones. All of the phones and everything is going to bring up to $417.65 a month. So it's almost $200 more a month, but a good chunk of that is the rental of the phones.
Right.
So just about doubles what
It does almost double.
Yeah.
what we're doing right now.
And we realize that it is a big increase.
Now, how long is that? Is that a year, or is this like a 1-year plan, or is this, they guarantee the price for 5 years? Do they have any?
It's either a 1 or a 3, and I can't remember which right now, because I kind of went back and forth with him a few times on a few different scenarios.
Yeah.
Do a 3, we'll do it.
If we can lock it in at 3 years, I'd say, yeah.
Do a 3 year.
Well, they lock in for a period of time.
That's what we're trying to, yeah.
I don't know if they do.
Well, it's 1 or 3 years, but she's not sure which one
Right.
this one is.
I wonder if there's any other options.
There is a cheaper option where we wouldn't rent the phones, but then
We gotta
I
buy
did.
You gotta
we had
buy
to
the phones, right?
And I did price out the phones and I choked.
They're expensive.
Well, yeah.
They're like $700 a piece if you want the type of phone that's.
I said do a 3 year.
Yeah, so $1,000 a room, yeah, it'll take a while, yeah. And then if it gets ruined, it's ruined, you gotta buy another one.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the way they finish it.
I mean, I'd make a motion if we can lock this in for 3 years at $417, to go ahead and do it.
I'll second it.
All right. Any further discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alright,
Aye.
We'll get into maybe the 20th century.
Well, 1950,
Closer.
like 1950s.
All right. All right, I think that's it for new business, so we'll go back to old business. Well, ARPA priorities, so we already, yeah, we gotta, I guess we have to.
We gotta
Well,
get,
yeah.
well, we gotta get a list.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, so we need to, but we should really, we keep talking about it, but I
We don't do
don't,
it.
we don't do it. We gotta make a
Well,
list.
but
so we can
people
start-
keep bringing in requests, so we
Well-
can't, until we get our requests, we can't do.
No, I'm just saying that, I think,
anything.
though, I think at this point, we really just need to,
Look at our
so- yeah,
requests
so
and
that-
go from there.
right, so people aren't waiting a long time to figure out if we're gonna.
Yep.
Well, it is on a time schedule, so
Well-
they'll only be waiting so long.
Well, 2024.
2024.
I think that has to be
Yeah.
spent by that.
Right.
But we still haven't got it all yet either, right?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I
We
think
do
we
have
do.
it
Oh,
all.
we got it, so
We just got the last payment within the past week.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
So-
alright, so, okay.
We got what, 800 and what?
I think it was
Well-
like 846.
46, 47.
It was like 846 and change.
Roughly 850.
And so far, we've just spent 10,000 for, police department computers. What else?
4,800 for their engine.
For the car.
That's
And
right.
then the,
Water valves.
water valves.
Well, that was,
Was it 5,000, I think?
Yeah, roughly
4,600 or something like
Yeah.
that?
And by the way, they finally came and put the line in,
The server.
the server.
did they?
oh, they got it.
Oh, I thought it was already done.
No.
It took that long?
No, I had to wait.
No one's coming quick.
Yay.
Nobody can find anybody to work.
No. So, yeah, so we'll let you know soon is the moral of that story. We get a,
Well, reasonably soon.
Reasonably soon.
yeah, that is a relative term, I
I'm not gonna
suppose.
be climbing up on that roof anytime too soon.
No.
Anyway.
No, no. All right, and then we have our three, the coin drop policy, purchasing policy, and delinquent tax policy. And thank you for making those
Yeah.
changes. The only thing, and I don't want to, if I'm the only one that cares, then I'll move on about it, but, so we do want to do October 1st instead of Columbus weekend? Is Columbus weekend, is the library done Columbus weekend before coin
What's
drop?
that? The coin drop?
Was it on Columbus weekend, or was,
I think so.
And was very
What I
successful.
was gonna
I think it was.
yeah, but, I think we're looking, we would like to ask for, the last Saturday of September.
yeah, I think it was the 30th.
Is that what we talked about?
I think so.
And I wanna, because the date that we had, originally belonged to us. And then, the Humane Society needed, I guess they do it in the spring, but then we gave that date for 1 year, and now they think it's their date for every year. And,
Oh, yeah, you gotta be
You
careful.
snooze, you
you know,
lose.
possession is 9/10 of the law.
Exactly.
I know.
You snooze, you lose.
Exactly.
Well, and we
so-
double booked this year.
Yeah,
We some,
That's
we
right, fellas.
approved the Humane Society and Library coin drop for the same day,
We did.
and nobody
We
picked
did.
that up.
Why would we do that?
yes, don't
I
you
don't know
remember that?
either.
I came here. and
I don't
it was
know
like,
either.
That
yeah.
must have been when I wasn't here.
Because what we did is
You and I were off somewhere else, I
It
think.
must be, yeah,
we
yeah.
asked for it to revert back to our original date, and unbeknownst to us,
Nobody
the
has
Humane
an original date. Nobody has a original date. It's
I-
first come, first serve. If you
I'm
snooze,
just-
you lose. You what?
And that's exactly what happened. We
you
snoozed,
go.
we lost. But the last Saturday would be the 30th, September the 30th, is when we're gonna ask for it.
Yeah.
So we just, why didn't we go with the long weekend in October?
Because we currently have it May 1st through October 1st.
That's right.
That's why I'm just trying to gauge whatever, that's the only
Well,
other
no,
thing.
I've got a
That's what it
few
was.
things on that
Oh.
that I've got, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some beautiful weather in October. So I really think it should go May 1st through October,
Whatever
You
Columbus
want the
is.
long week, you wanna go
well, say,
15th.
yeah, 15th, 20th, somewhere in there.
Well, the 15th,
Give
that's
a
gonna
couple
get you the
weekends in
holiday.
October. We're still only gonna, I agree with the 5 a year, that's enough.
Yeah.
But I think we should extend the time out
I
into
agree on
October
that.
a little further.
Go 15th.
So I'll go with that.
I already got a one there.
Okay. I had a question on number 10. What is meant by visual acknowledgement?
It can be a nod, it could be so I took this from another town and tweaked it.
Okay, I mean, I don't,
I think that could be stricken
And we
right out
can
of there.
strike that out.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see any need for, you
I don't
know,
either. I take that.
that. Number 11, the town supplying the safety equipment. Do we really want to be doing that?
No.
And doesn't the highway department, or, fire department do that?
Well, they do, but the
Or do
state
people
required, the last time they did it, I think State Highway dropped off some, they have signs that they want done.
Oh, okay.
Well, signs in it, but I mean,
I mean,
I guess I have a concern that if the town's supplying all these safety equipments and whatever, and somebody gets hit or whatever, I mean, I don't think it's too big an ask for the organization to provide their own safety vests and that stuff.
Well, that part, but I think the only thing the town's supplied has been like traffic cones. Fire department's giving them cones.
Okay, well, that I don't have a problem with,
and maybe the big signs that says,
coin drop ahead.
yeah, they have to have that stuff, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that I don't have a problem with us, but I don't think we should be
We
supplying
don't do
vests
the-
and
no.
that kind of stuff.
They have to
Because
have their
the
own.
way that was written, it sounded like you just come here and there's a box for you to pull the stuff out. Well,
No.
that's the way it looked to
Yeah.
me in the writing of it. And then, on number 6, if it says something about us having the sole right, blah, blah, blah. Well, we don't have the sole right if it's on Route 7.
No, it's state highway.
It's a state highway, so I don't think it should say sole right.
Okay.
We do on any other road, but not.
Not on Route 7, no, and
And we normally-
the odds of having one on one of our roads are pretty slim.
Yeah, and normally, we like it done at the school for the fact that the visual effect both ways.
Well, and you got
north
the
and
safety
south.
lights there now,
And you got
too.
the lights
Yeah,
there too,
that's
and
right.
it's right at the top of the hill,
Yep,
and you're far enough away for traffic to slow.
well, they're coming
Never
up
had
a
a
hill
problem.
one way, so they're
Yeah.
slower, and then you got a long vision the other way,
So
so that's, where they normally are, so. But yeah, I'd be careful with the sole right, I don't
I can
think,
take out the word soul, that's not a problem.
okay, all right.
This safety equipment, is that available to whatever organization wants to have the coin droppers?
I mean, well, the fire department's always there at every
Normally they're there.
coin drop and
Yeah,
has,
they kind of do it as a gesture of the town because of the safety lights, flashing lights, slows traffic down.
yep.
Yeah,
You know, they're usually, sometimes it's their own personal vehicles that do it, not town equipment. If you've got somebody available, they do.
If this equipment is available,
If it's available,
let's say
they do it.
the fire department has it under their control, it seems like the library ought to be able to use it for their event, or the Humane Society for
Well,
their
they do.
event.
They do, I think.
Should be cooperation between,
Yeah, but-
yeah, for the signs and the cones and that stuff, but, you bring your own safety vest. I mean, I don't think we should be supplying them. I don't think that's a big ask.
So
Okay.
Dave, do you want to say the cones and signs can be picked up at the town offices before the event?
But it isn't the town, it'd be the fire
Fire
department.
department.
So I don't, I think it should be more something they need to coordinate with the fire department to get
They need to
cones and
coordinate with the fire
signage.
chief.
I think, yeah,
And that way,
Yeah, leave you guys out of it,
yeah,
yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
he may not have the stuff available for that day or
Yep.
something, who knows? You need to
But
coordinate.
that's one of those things when, if you decide in March when you wanna have it and you come to us to get first in line to
Oh,
get your
no,
spot.
I'm coming next meeting.
Okay, well, whenever, that's whenever, but, and then your next stop would be the fire department to
Yes.
make sure you can get the stuff.
That's correct.
Yes,
No, I-
okay,
Yep, know that.
that's, yes.
All right.
Yep.
All right, anybody else have anything on the coin drop policy?
No.
Alrighty, purchasing policy.
I got some on that one.
I'm just wondering in general, are these like arbitrary increases or based on some kind of formula of some kind?
Pretty much.
I was looking at how much things are costing now.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, well, I'm
They can
gonna,
be changed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the opposite approach. Given how much stuff is costing, these 5 of us that sit here are gonna have to have real sharp pencils. And I don't think we should be loosening up any of these numbers at all. Because I think we need to have more control over what money is spent in this town, because the next few years are gonna be hard.
Oh, I'm aware.
So I don't think we should be loosening up any reins and looking down through the thing. I'm willing to leave them all the same. I do think the town manager, that should be dropped down to 2,500. We've discussed that before, that 5,000 is kind of high, and that goes in that procession down through as far as it fits in better that way. So that would be, my suggestion on that, is to leave them all the same and drop the town manager to 2,500 and go there.
I have a
That
question.
fits in. And I mean, and that isn't, the 2,500 obviously isn't in the case of a natural disaster or whatever, that's a whole different thing. But as far as just discretionary spending, I think we need to tighten that down.
What problems are they with the limits as they are now compared to what this proposal would be? Are we running into problems that are causing?
I think for paperwork purposes right now, like if a purchase is more than $200, then we're supposed to use a purchase order. If I buy 5 cases of paper, I'm over $200, so that would be a lot of purchase orders going into the accounting office, and I think it would very quickly overwhelm
Pat would be
Pat.
pissed.
Well, I would agree with that, but where I work now, they are cracking down so hard. The auditors are like, they wanna know where granted, it's a school, but no different than here, it's public taxpayer money, and they are cracking down hard. I mean, if we want $10, you gotta fill out a Form 1 purchase order, and it's all gotta be documented. So I understand your aspect of it,
Yep.
but I think we need to keep.
Having conversations with employees, the purchase order part of this policy hasn't been followed in
No, hasn't been
Sometime.
for
No.
years.
Um,
No. I can vouch for that.
Well, our auditor should be picking that up.
The only problem I can see is when it comes to highway, some of these guys that are using stuff all the time, every day, you know, you get a breakdown, you gotta go pick up a part. You know, that part might be, not knowing what, I know, I'm
Yeah,
just, say it's a starter and it's over the $200, whatever it is. You don't want them coming back to us every time, or, you know what I'm saying? It's,
Right.
you gotta be careful. We don't want it too tight, but yet you don't want it too loose
We
either.
don't want it too loose either.
No.
Sean had to buy 5 valves the other day.
Yeah, and
And he didn't have, if we went by this policy, or
he couldn't have done it.
he couldn't do
That's
it.
what I'm
He had a
saying.
verbal approval from Brenda, so
Yeah.
he was okay to do it. But otherwise, he's like, I would have had to go through and he's like, we've got breaks right now, I'm trying to fix
Yeah,
them, and I would have had to
that's where
leave
I'm
there,
coming from.
go get signatures,
Yeah.
get approvals, and then go back.
Because it was an infrastructure need.
Because it's an infrastructure need.
That's where we gotta be careful, we don't micromanage either, you know,
Well, no,
that's why we
no,
got.
I understand that, but on the other hand, I
Well,
don't.
no, I understand what you're
I don't want it
saying.
too loose either.
I understand what you're saying, but we don't wanna get to the point where we're looking at every piece of paper. Yeah, let's do it once in a while, like we're doing, like phone system, that kinda stuff, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But we can't nickel and dime the everyday stuff.
I honestly see both sides, I really do.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah,
I know
and I know-
Well,
Sean,
no, I see both sides too.
Yeah.
Cause as somebody who has to fill out a Form 1 for everything that I have to do, it's a,
And now it's costing us more money, because now we're taking their time away that they should be working on the job, and now they're spending not only her time, their time, so it's, it's costing more to save. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're spending more to save.
well, yeah.
And if the wheel's not broke, let's not try to fix it at this
In
point.
many cases, a phone call. take
That's
care of
all.
whatever
As long as
problem
she's
might be.
aware of what's going on, I'm happy with it, and she knows what's going on.
Yeah.
We deal with purchase orders for
but if you
lumber.
reduce her to $2,500.
Yeah, that's not enough. I'd leave it alone. I'd leave the whole
then
policy. If you're
Sean
gonna
would
leave it
be
alone, leave it
calling you
alone.
guys
Yeah.
twice a week right now,
Okay.
because of the price of
Okay.
brass. He's telling me, like, one of the meter heads we have 4 of them in town that need to be replaced.
Yeah, they're,
One meter head was $1,600.
they're
So
not
he
cheap.
had to go to Brenda to get approval for it, it's over his limit.
Yep, okay.
But if we went and
All right.
bought 2 of them, now she's gonna have to call you and say,
yeah, no,
we're in desperate need of these.
yeah.
Okay,
Meter
all right, no, I
heads.
see that, I looked at the
Yeah.
progression down that line, and
Yeah.
it was like 500, 1,000, you know, whatever it was, and it just made more
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
being that way.
Well, I'll make a motion, we leave the policy as is.
Okay.
Okay, I can live with that
For now.
for now.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
look at it later.
If we start
If we
having
have-
issues, we can
then we
make
can
change, I mean,
talk.
if it gets to the point.
Yeah.
If Pat says, you know, the paperwork's overwhelming me, whatever, then maybe we can find a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, and then delinquent taxes. I didn't see it, nothing really stood out to me in this one.
I didn't see anything bad
I
about it.
didn't see, no, I didn't see anything.
I think we
Helen
approved
reviewed
that.
this one.
Yeah,
Okay,
she did.
so, all right, yeah.
Look good to me.
Okay, me too.
Make a motion to approve it?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
As long as I'm not on it.
Coming after you if you are.
I paid the
Okay.
last week.
Gee,
That's right, that's coming up.
Yeah, it is coming up. Quicker than we
Quick
think.
question with that one, so since you guys have approved this,
Yeah.
one, I don't know how it works exactly, because it's just a policy. I think we're okay with it just being approved by you guys, I don't know if we have to do the 45-day
No.
posting and all that. But can I photocopy it and mail it to those people that are now going to be affected by
Yep.
this because they
Yeah.
owe the delinquent taxes
Yep.
for
Right.
more
Yep,
than, so that
definitely.
they're aware, and I
Yeah.
can highlight the sections that are going to affect them.
Yep.
So that they're aware that now they're gonna
Now
be
they're,
eligible for tax sale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Under this
definitely.
Yep.
policy.
thank you.
Communication is extremely important. when
yes, it
comes
is.
to That sort of thing. Can't, very hard to overdo the communication.
So does this go into effect right now? Just, okay,
Because it's a
as of right now,
policy, yes.
okay.
As of now, it's policy.
Yep.
But I just wanna make sure with you guys, if you're okay with me photocopying it, highlighting it, and
And
mailing
sending
it
it.
to those
Yes.
individuals that it is going to affect
Right, yeah,
very
thank you.
quickly.
And unless I'm missing anything, or if
I
anybody
think-
has anything, I think we're done.
No liquor board.
No liquor board, no cannabis
pot.
board,
Or, yeah.
no executive.
No booze,
executive.
no pot.
No
I'm
booze,
going
no
home.
Well, you better go home, yeah. Motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Oh, all in favor, say aye. Never do that.
We don't need to.